Hello everyone, welcome back to SportsKhabri. I'm Rahul, and with me is Arunava from Arunfoot. We've had a couple of things that have happened over the past week or so, and we thought it's only right that we discuss them. The first big thing was Arsene Wenger coming to India, former Arsenal manager, of course, legendary manager in English football. He's also FIFA's chief of global football development, and as part of his duties, had visited India. Arunava, first of all, how are you doing? And I just wanted to know from you what exactly was the purpose of Arsene Wenger's visit to India.
Well, first of all, thank you, Rahul. I'm doing fine, and I guess for you as an Arsenal fan, I think it's a big thing that the most legendary Arsenal manager was in the country. And first of all, of course, FIFA has supported Indian football quite a bit over the last decades, I would say. And it started quite a while back, and it's always been there. And be it under the former president Sepp Blatter, and that has continued under the current president Gianni Infantino, and there have been exchanges between FIFA and the AFF about possibilities to enhance, develop Indian football. There have been conversations with Arsene Wenger in his role to develop football around the world, and Arsene Wenger took it on him to say, "Listen, I want to come to India. I want to experience India, and let's see what can we do." And the first step of that was, of course, for Arsene Wenger for himself to come spent 4 days in India. The FIFA AFF Academy was launched in Bhubaneswar, which is a partnership between FIFA, AFF, and the government of Odisha. And Odisha has been quite a big hub for sports development in the last few years. Hockey, of course, is the big example, and football, of course, has made a lot of inroads, not only men's but also women's football as well. And this academy hopefully will help the AFF to polish the talented young players that hopefully will come through the youth system, and prepare them for the professional world of football. And it takes over from a smaller, lower level of the AFF Elite Academy, which used to exist in the past. And Mr. Wenger, of course, also got a look and feel of India. He saw India play against Qatar. He saw the difference in the standard between Qatar, with being having been hosts of the last World Cup, having something like the Aspire Academy, one of the best facilities in the world, bringing in some of the best trainers in the world. The Qatar Stars League is a strong league in Asia as well. And all these things, you realize where India really stands.
Yeah, Arnav, I just want to talk about a little more about the AIFF FIFA Academy, apart from what you just said. What do we know about the Academy? Is there sort of a roadmap or do we have certain dates set saying, okay, this is exactly what the plan is going to be like, or is it still under the wraps?
So FIFA will depute coaches for that program to give sort of the final touches. The focus is on the under-17s to be able to play at the Asian level, but potentially also play at the under-17 FIFA World Cup in the future, qualify on merit, not be just hosts as we were in 2017. I think that's very, very important to say. I would think that having coaches recommended by FIFA and especially by Arsene Wenger will be quality coaches who hopefully will be able to help these kids to reach a higher level of football and take Indian football in the long term forward.
Yeah, no, and quickly on the game, India Qatar, of course, Wenger was there. He watched it. What do you think? I know he's given a couple of comments saying that there was a lot of fight from the Indian side. From a technical point of view, do you think him watching will sort of help? Because I know it's just one game, but how much of it do you think he can probably take back and say, you know what, these guys need sort of technical development more than anything else?
Arsene Wenger is one of the most successful managers who's coached in not only the English game, but I would say in world football. And he's a renowned coach. He's an expert of the game. He has an unbelievable understanding of the game. So someone like him watching 90 plus minutes of India and watching it live, I always say it's very important to watch a game live and not just watch it on television, because in a live game, you see a lot of things which television can't transport you, because television really travels mainly with the ball. And I think Arsene Wenger would have learned a few things about, I said, you saw the fighting spirit, the grit of the Indian team, but he will also have seen our deficiencies. Again, he's a gentleman. He will not speak about them in public. Most probably he's spoken about it with the AFF. Maybe, I don't know if he met and spoke with Igor Stimac about it as well. Again, I think to him it will be obvious what the good parts and what the negatives are for Indian football. And it's important for him, if he's trying to help us evolve and develop. And he's called India a gold mine. I mean, I remember I was there in South Africa when Sepp Blatter said that India was the sleeping giant of world football. And everyone in that room was like, why is Sepp Blatter on the African continent talking about India? Because I remember he started saying, don't forget India. My friends, we need to talk about India. And this is something which of course he's taken forward, which Infantino's taken forward. I find it a little dangerous when someone says gold mine, because I think he was looking at it from a talent perspective.
Yeah,
Certain
yeah,
people have made it out to be talking about finances. I don't think Arsene Wenger was looking at it from a financial standpoint. I think he's looking at a pure football perspective, and he's saying, listen, it's 1.5 billion people. It's about 20% of the world population. India needs to participate in the global game, which is football. And I think that was where he was coming from and going to. And I totally agree with him. And this is something, again, that you will say, I would say everyone who's got love and interest for Indian football will say that Indian football has a lot of potential, but we need to do the basics right. And I hope that is something that will come from him, with his knowledge, with his experience. Um, Again, when you think about when Arsene Wenger went to the English game, came to Arsenal, Arsenal were good. English football was okay, but he was one of those managers who've taken English football to the next level. That foreign influence
yeah,
was very, very crucial for England to develop, evolve as a national team, for the Premier League to evolve. Again, Arsene Wenger is one. Even if you see the Pochettino is back, you've seen what the influences of Klopp and Guardiola have been. Even now, Arteta at Arsenal. So that is very, very important. Not to forget Sir Alex Ferguson as well. And the list goes on and on and on. And therefore, someone like him can help us. I hope he comes back to India regularly, that he can give us more and more inputs. Because a one-off visit is nice, but someone like Arsene Wenger, if he can come in a few times, if he can
yeah.
understand it, and even also on the other side, depute people to come in and understand Indian football more. Because my learnings of the last 25 years is that Indian football is not Indian football. You have to see India not as a country, but rather as a continent. So you will have to find local solutions to nationally develop football. And I think that's the biggest challenge which Indian football has.
Okay, fair enough. Again, the reason I brought up technical abilities, and probably the first thing that he probably wanted to improve is the technical aspect, is because over the years, at least being an Arsenal fan, I've seen Wenger bring in probably some of the best technicians in football, be it Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, then you Mesut Ozil more recently, Cesc Fabregas. So these sort of technical players, and again, like you said, Arunava, do you think like he's going to potentially come a few more times and then really work on the technical parts of football in different regions?
I go back to my time at Mumbai City when I was CEO of Mumbai City in the first season of the ISL, and we had Nicholas Anelka as well as Freddie Ljungberg with us. And I, after my time at Mumbai, I actually went to Arsenal, had a look around, the training complex, met Freddie over there, and Freddie Ljungberg clearly said, Arsene Wenger has really transformed the club. I mean, Arsenal were, compared to other teams, always a little bit more technical, had a little bit more flair than other teams who used to work football,
Yeah.
English football. I think that's a very, very important thing. And this is an area which we in Indian football at the moment, I think, lack the most. I think technical
Mhm.
abilities is something which we lack the most. I think if you look at Indian footballers at the moment, the mentality, fighting spirit, the physical fitness is better than ever before. But I think technical abilities is something which we need to work on, which we need to develop. We have few players who are technically very, very gifted, but are they ready really for that top level of international football? If I look at a Sahal, if I look at a Brandon, these guys are technically really good. Even, Liston, Jangte, all these guys. How can we improve them? But what that work is very, very difficult because they're already in their mid-20s or late 20s, so it's going to be difficult to develop them. So it's a question of what do we do with the younger players? And that is the
Mhm.
challenge for Indian football, is if a FIFA AFF academy can give that finishing touch to those players before they go on to play for the India under-20s, before they get into the ISL, maybe go abroad. That is going to be important. I hope that is going to be one of the biggest focus areas, focus points, because I think that's what we need to work on.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, the hope is that Wenger has seen all of these things and he does probably come back a few more times, work, and of course, deploy coaches that are needed in the right areas of India. And I mean, obviously, that understanding will only probably get built up after he comes a couple more times. Hopefully, he does um, end up bettering Indian football technically and otherwise. Thanks, Arunava, for the short chat. Well, that was on Arsene Wenger's visit to India and basically our takeaways from it. Until next time, please do like, share, and subscribe. Arun Foot and SportsKhabri. See you. Thanks, Arunava.
Bye, everyone.